Hey guys, well you would not believe how fucking cold it is. It is freezing. There is a polar blast hitting the country and it's like, I don't know, what is it? March? It's Easter though, so that's what you get. Anyway, let's get into a really good beer review. Hey guys, welcome back to beer reviews of the BeerSarge. Yeah, cold. I've got a sweatshirt sitting inside, and I'm probably going to have to go and get it because it's fucking freezing. But the Chiefs are playing the Crusaders tonight, so that ought to warm the cockles of my heart when the Chiefs beat the Crusaders. But anyway, back to the beer. So the beer we're doing today is a McLeod's because, well, that's the beer that I've got, and there's no secret. I am a fucking huge fan of McLeod's, and it is a new one, and I'm just going to go and get it out of the fridge. Okay, so I'm back from my trip to the fridge, and I have this beer right here in my hand. Now, this is it's a new release from McLeod's. It's a small batch, limited edition beer, but it's one that I have been. It's a style of beer that I really enjoy. And you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a West Coast IPA. Now the reason I like a West Coast IPA is because they're crisp, they're clean, they are generally fucking, like you can see, they're clean as, you can clear as anything, but they've got a whole lot of hop bite, and they're just to me they're a really, well, they're just an awesome showcasing of how a brewer can get so much flavour out of a hop, and like the bittering hops is something that, you know, like a bitter beer, really bitter. That's what they are. They're really, really bitter. Now, for those of you who don't know, those of you who are not from this land, or from the other side of the world, maybe across the ditch, I don't know, around the world, wherever you're from. In New Zealand, the west coast of New Zealand is a very rugged part of the country. Fucking rugged as. There's a lot of beaches on that side of the country. As you head down the island, some of them have got black sand, some of them have got white sand, but always the coast is fucking rugged, like rough surf, great fishing, rough surf, and this beer pays tribute to the largest tree in New Zealand. Well, the largest known tree in New Zealand. I mean, there might be hidden somewhere in a forest somewhere in Northland, because these trees, kauri trees, are only found in Northland and a little bit maybe over in sort of Tauranga, but we don't talk about those. Just Northland. As you'll see from behind me, this little flag here has a kauri tree on it. That's because that's the Northland, the mighty Northland taniwha. They have the kauri as their logo, and they have for many, many years. So kauri trees and Northland go hand in hand. You'd have to have a very, very big hand to stick your hand around that big tree. That big tree is Tani Mahuta. He's in the Waipoua forest. Now, Tani Mahuta is a fucking giant of a tree, and I myself feel very privileged to be one of the very few people in New Zealand. Well, no, that's not true. I feel very privileged to be one of the older people in New Zealand who have actually been up and able to touch that tree. So back in the old days, you could go up and you could touch Tani Mahuta. You could just put your hand on the trunk. This massive trunk, massive, but now it's massive. It's biggest, it's the greatest tree ever. It's a fucking monster of a tree, but now you can't get near it because they've got, it's all roped off, and you've got, well, it's not roped off, it's got fucking walkways all around it because it's such a national treasure. They don't want people standing on its roots and killing him because he's fucking thousands and thousands of years old. This beer, Forest of Giants West Coast IPA, I think is such a great almost tribute to the mighty kauri trees of the west coast of Northland, and to call it Forest of Giants, I think, is a fucking great. It's a great name for a beer, a West Coast IPA. I love it. I love it. So what it says on here, from small seeds grow mighty trees. Like giant kauri looming large over Northern Forest, this West Coast IPA is an ode to New Zealand, packed with 3 of our favourite New Zealand hop stars, Nelson Sauvin, Rewaka and Motueka. A proud, majestic brew, it reaches high with tropical fruit notes over a lush green backdrop, made for enjoying everywhere Aotearoa takes you. Now, like, I mean, you don't want to get too fucking strung up on the you know, the nuances and all that sort of stuff. But giant kauri trees, west coast of New Zealand, and a beer to celebrate it. What more could you want? Let's try it and see if it lives up to my expectations. First off, that was a great crack of a can. So yes, tick. Glass, can, hand in hand. Beautifully clear, crystal clear. And a beautiful head on it. Look at that. Fucking brilliant. There you go. I'll let you have a look at that. That is fucking clear as. Beautiful clear beer. Beautiful clear beer. West Coast IPAs. Fucking love them. Right, so initially let's have a sniff of this beer. I'm getting those fruit notes out of that. Some grassy tones. I'm taking this seriously, this one. Like, most of them aren't serious, are they? But this one's a little bit serious because this has got some expectation behind it. Oh, that has got some. You can smell the Rewaka hops. They have a distinctive smell, and I can pick those up, and they smell brilliant. So they've got a sort of a grassy, and sort of a bitter smell to it, even a bitter smell. But let's have a taste. I have been looking forward to this for so long. It took me ages to find this beer. They've done it again. Okay, so this it's very bitter. So it's West Coast IPA classic bitter. It is very bitter. Exactly what I wanted. The flavour profile of it is that bitterness with not fruit as in like sweet fruit in there, but it's bitter with a really nice note to it. Not sweet, but very smooth, and that smooth just rounds out the bitterness. It's really, really punchy. I'm gonna say it, this is now my absolute favourite West Coast IPA. Absolute favourite West Coast IPA. And the fact that it's called Forest of Giants, and it's got a big picture of Tani Mahuta on the front, that just makes it even more special. I love it. Thank you, McLeod's, for producing this fucking outstanding beer. So that's what you want there. Forest of Giants from McLeod's. Absolute winner of a beer. There you go. Just going to go and drink this now because it's pretty decent. In fact, it's the best. It's cool. I like it. There's another beer review from the BeerSarge.